Okay, back again with another workout video. Today it's going to be a lower body session. We're going to be doing some plyometrics, a little bit of jump work. We're going to do trap bar. Haven't done that for a long time. Just going to do some trap bar, working up to quite a heavy weight just to see how we get on. We're going to do some single leg RDLs and some Zercher lateral squats just to work on some hip and groin exercises. We're also going to talk about someone on my Athlete for Life training team said it wasn't enough explosive work in the session, so we're going to talk about what I think, like what explosive training is, and why I put what I do in the sessions, why I program what I program, why I think it's more than enough explosive training. You don't need to do too much extra kind of stuff than what we do. So yeah, we'll just get right into the session. We'll start off for like our mini plyos, so just like get nice light plyos, get into the warm up, gradually increase the intensity as we go. We're also going to work on, so we're going to do light, medium and high intense plyos, so it's all going to be hops today, single leg. We like to do at least 1 day of hopping, 1 day single leg kind of plyometric work, and then we're going to do double leg jumps. For the single leg one, we're going to do nice light hops, and then the medium intense ones, we're going to work on a little bit of transitioning from horizontal to vertical momentum and working on horizontal hops and going and changing them into vertical. Nice light medium intensity ones, and then for the high intense ones you can do hops with a tuck, just basically trying to jump side scan with hops going forward as well. Yeah, so we just get right into it. It's like a million times before. It's just like hops forward, backwards, sideways, all different directions, just to get the ankles warm, get the body feeling nice and warm, and getting into the session. And then we gradually increase intensity as we go. So we're just going to do 15 each leg. The goal isn't really to get too high with these, the goal isn't to get too far with these. The goal is just to kind of warm up the ankles, warm up the body, and just get a little bit extra kind of springy tendon kind of work in. Because obviously like this kind of stuff I feel is like building the base for the higher intense kind of plyometric work. And it really, I think, strengthens the ankles a lot. I think a lot of people roll their ankles, get injured a lot, so doing like light kind of plyometric work, it's one of the best things you can do to help yourself prevent getting rolled ankles or sprained ankles or hurting your ankles in any way. Just gets it nice and strong around the ankle joint. When we're doing these, we're not trying to put our whole foot on the floor. We're trying to just keep our heel off the floor, so we're hitting that mid foot onto the toes basically. So we don't want to be putting our whole foot on the floor, because then we'll be like too heavy, stopping, and we won't be able to like spring off the floor. So you just want that heel just off the floor, almost like if you can fit a credit card underneath it, just so the heel's just off the floor, so we're managing to be nice and springy and we're not getting stuck in the ground. Okay, for our medium intense plyos, we're going to do the hops. 3 hops forward, then a vertical hop up. 3 hops forward, a vertical hop up. 3 hops forward, a vertical hop up. Don't know if we have enough space for that, but we'll see what we can do with it here. Yes, we're not going to try to do too high intense with these right now. These are just gradually increasing intensity from the light hops into these medium intensity kind of hops. And we're just working on something different, a little bit, trying to transition from horizontal to vertical force a little bit quicker. We weren't very good in that one, but again, each set, we'll try and get better and better with it. That leg felt way easier for some reason. Normally it's my right foot that feels better like with jumps, but that one felt a little bit better. I think I was managing to transition from horizontal to vertical force a little bit quicker, a little bit better. Because that's what we want. We want to make that transition for when we do the third hop into the vertical one. We want to make that nice and quick. We don't want to be too long on the ground. We don't want to get stuck on the ground. We want to be nice and athletic with it, nice and quick with it. We don't transition nice and quickly. We're going to do 2 more sets of these, then we're going to move on to our high intense hops. Love using like light plyos or just gradually increasing the intensity of plyometrics in the warm up, because I think you're also getting a lot of warm ups. A lot of people end up just doing like some nonsense stuff, like dynamic warm ups just doesn't do anything. Like, and it ends up taking up a lot of time if you do like a long dynamic warm up. A lot of people warm up for like 15 to 20 minutes and then they get into the training session. But even when they get into the training session, they're still having to do extra warm up sets of whatever exercise they're doing. And it just feels like a waste of time. Like, a lot of time people waste time in the warm up. You just don't need to do that much for it. Like, for me, the plyometrics is like a great way to gradually increase intensity, gradually increases your heart rate, gets you nice and warm, but you're also getting some good work, and you're also getting some good ankle work, good elasticity work, good stuff for athleticism. So I think it's just a great way to warm up the body rather than doing like a 20-minute, I don't know, a lot of people do runs on the treadmill or like hip cars or like something, just to like random warm-up exercises, which I don't actually think they're bad, but I think you're better off doing, I think you don't have much time in the gym as it is, so you want to do as much as you can in the gym while you're there. And I think if you're doing like a 20-minute warm-up of doing like random exercises, it ends up just being a waste of time. I think you're better getting as much work as you can done in that time you're in the gym. And if you need to do extra stuff like the mobility stuff, like the hip stuff, which a lot of people do in the warm-up, you're better doing it after the session or at a random time when you're at home doing your mobility stuff rather than doing it in the session. You're better doing that away from the session and actually focusing on getting some good outputs, good working when you're actually in the gym. Because you can do like the hip mobility stuff while you're at home watching TV. If you're just at home chilling, it's actually quite nice to do stretches then. It's nice to do like mobility kind of stuff. But when you're in the gym, you should be here to train, here to get stronger, here to get better, here to get faster. And I think you don't want to waste 20 minutes in the warm-up doing that kind of stuff. But that's just my thoughts on it. Okay, now we're going to go to high intense plyos, the hops with a tuck. You know, like back in the warm-up chat, like when I'm doing like right now, this takes me about 10-15 minutes to do, which is like what a normal warm-up would take. And then normally people would warm up for 10-15 minutes and then come in and do this kind of stuff. But now I've kind of done this stuff in the warm-up. I'm already 15 minutes into the session and I'm ready to go into my actual work, other work like jumps and heavy lifting and that. So I think, and not even that, like just with plyos, you also get good ankle strength, good elasticity work, and just so much benefits to it rather than just doing a random warm-up, doing a normal warm-up, dynamic warm-up, and not really actually getting outputs, not actually working yet, not actually working on anything, you're just warming up. But with this, you get a warm-up, and you get a work on outputs, and you get a work on strength and ankles, and you get a work on elasticity. So you get a lot more out of this kind of warm-up than you do with just a normal dynamic kind of warm-up. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. And we're going to do 2 more sets of these, and then we're going to move on to the jumps for the day. And we're going to do 15 minutes of jumps, just trying to get as much outputs as we can, much good jumps as we can. We're going to do seated jumps over a hurdle for 50 minutes and just try and jump, get as much good jumps as we can in. Okay, we're on the seated jumps now, 15 minutes. Just going to gradually increase the height as we go. You don't need a hurdle for this, you can either use a box or you can just try and jump and touch something. You need something to drive that intent into the jump training. So yeah, we're going to use a hurdle today, but as I said, you can use a box or jumping and touching something, just whatever you need to drive that intent. So 50 minutes on the clock, we're going to do as many jumps as we can in that 50 minutes and see how many good outputs we can get and just gradually increasing the height and see how high we can get with it. On my Athlete for Life plan, you know, the monthly subscription program I do all the workouts myself, and that you can buy it if you want. Just do different kind of athletic workouts. Is how you get jacked and athletic. We normally do like different kind of jumps every week. So I think for jump training, we just want to drive that intent into the jumps. So it's like it doesn't really matter what kind of jumps you do. We just want to drive that intent, and we want to get good outputs in the jumps. And that's why every week I like to change up the jump training, just do different kind of variations of jumps. Because as I said before, for jumps, you just want to drive that intent into the exercise, and that's how you're going to get the power, that's how you're going to get explosive, that's how you're going to improve your jump height. So just try to find out ways how to make the jump training interesting, make it enjoyable, and make it be able to drive that intent, and to make sure that you're actually getting the most out of the exercise. And that's what I think with jump training. Yeah, one of the athletes in the program said that he didn't think there was enough explosive training, and I don't know what he kind of means by that yet. I've messaged him to see what he means, but like for me, for explosive training, if you want to get explosive, doing jumps, doing different variations of jump, doing different kind of plyos, and doing sprints every week is all the explosive kind of training you need. You don't need to be doing weighted jumps. You don't need to be lifting light weights fast. All you need to do is jump, sprint, do plyometrics every week, and also lift heavy weights. Because if we look at power in a physics standpoint, it's force times velocity. So if we want to get more powerful, we want to improve our force output, and we want to improve our velocity. And the easiest way to improve your force output is by lifting heavy weights and getting yourself stronger. So getting stronger in the bilateral lifts, let's say trap bar deadlift, which I'm going to do today, or the back squat. Getting yourself stronger in these exercises, it's going to help improve your force output. It's going to make you a more powerful person and athlete. And then improving the velocity side of it is like the jumps, the plyometrics, the sprints, the unweighted body weight kind of fast explosive exercises. So if you do those two things weekly and you're getting stronger, you're getting faster, then you're going to become a more explosive athlete. You don't need to worry about doing anything in between. I think a lot of the strength and conditioning, we talk about doing like speed, strength, strength, speed, which is basically exercise like weighted jumps, which I used to do a lot of, or like anything like weighted jumps, weighted sprints. I don't think these are necessary to do to become explosive, to be powerful. I think all you need to do is, as I said, plyos, jumps, sprints, get faster and jump higher with them, and do your heavy lifting, get stronger in those weighted exercises, and you're going to become a more explosive athlete. We'll talk about more, we'll do a couple more jumps and we'll talk more about it. Yeah, so as I was saying before about becoming explosive, you just need to be, if you're improving your jump height, if you're sprinting faster, you need to be tracking these stuff. And if you're actually getting faster, you're jumping higher, and you're working on this stuff every week, you're doing your plyometrics, that's all you need to do. And you're getting stronger in the weight room, like with the back squats and that's all you need to do to become explosive. You don't need to do this lifting light weights fast. You don't need to be doing weighted jumps. I used to do all this stuff before, never really noticed a difference, also didn't enjoy doing them, never really seen any improvements in my athleticism. But ever since I've started just doing jumps, plyos, sprints, focusing on those things and focusing on just getting stronger in the weight room, I feel much better rather than having to think about doing lifting light weights fast, because at the end of the day, it's very hard to drive intent into like lifting light weights fast. It's very hard to know if you're actually lifting that bar, because when you're doing lifting light weights fast, you're supposed to be lifting the bar as fast as you possibly can. It's very hard to, obviously you can just do it yourself, but it's very hard to know if you're actually lifting it as fast as you can. But when you're like doing jump training like this and you're got the hurdle, you know if you're jumping higher, or if you're doing sprint training and when you're timing it, there's a lot of intent into that, and that's what you need for these kind of exercises. If you want to become explosive, you need, the intent is the most important thing, and I feel like it's very hard to drive intent when it's just like lifting light weights faster, doing weighted jumps and all that. So I don't think you need to do any of those kind of stuff. Olympic weightlifting also, nothing wrong with it. Again, there's nothing wrong with this stuff. I think if you like it, then do it. But for me, I'm not a big fan of it, so I would never actually do it. And I think Olympic weightlifting is great for athletes, it's great for people. Like I think that's probably one of the best ways to do like the lightweight fast, because you can actually, there's a lot of intent into it. You can actually get quite heavy with it. But it's not something I do. I prefer doing jumps, sprints, plyos, focusing on those stuff, and then focusing on getting nice and strong by doing trap bar, back squat, all these kind of exercises, getting nice and strong in that, and that's how I feel you become a nice explosive athlete in person. Yes, we're going to do some more jumps. We failed a little bit with the height there, so we're just going to keep doing a couple more of these and try and go higher again. This kind of jump variation is obviously difficult because you're trying to be explosive from like a seated position. You don't have any like penultimate, you don't have any like run up to it. Just to be nice and explosive, and I think this is a good way to work on like just improving your overall like acceleration kind of speed, like being explosive off the mark and trying to produce as much force you can quickly off the mark from like a seated position. So like this kind of stuff's great for like standing vertical jump, acceleration kind of speed. It's more like a force output kind of jump exercise. Like in the Athlete for Life plan, I like to do one more force kind of output jump, and I like to do one more springy kind of jump. So like the next jump session we're going to do this week, we're going to do more springy kind of jumps. It's going to be hurdle jumps. Again, just getting that ground contact, more of a plyometric exercise. I don't really see this as a plyo exercise. I see this more as just like a power jump exercise. So I like to do like one of each a week, just to work on different things, just so we're hitting a whole spectrum of every kind of physical quality. We're working on all physical qualities. We're going to do a couple more, almost at 50 minutes, then we're going to go into trap bar. haven't done trap bar for a while. Don't want to hurt our back either after we've had some back pain, so we don't want to do too much. We're just going to work up to a decent heavy weight for 3 reps and see how it feels. So I think this is 140 now, 145, sorry. It's a bit of a weird trap bar because it's quite wide. I'm normally used to like a thinner trap bar, so it's a bit closer. So it's a bit harder to get heavier, but we'll see how we get on. Even that feels heavy-ish, which it shouldn't. Like 140 trap bar should be, 145 should be easy. But that feels not difficult, but just quite heavy. So I think we'll go up to 155. We'll do 3 reps of that, and then we'll see how we get on. Maybe do one more set, and then we'll move on to our accessory kind of work. But yeah, I used to absolutely love doing the trap bar, just because like my main exercise, like if I was going to do a bilateral heavy lift, it would be the trap bar rather than back squats. But I kind of switched that this last year. I've been focusing more on back squatting, and I've improved my back squat weight, so quite happy with that. But I feel like my trap bar deadlift weight's gone way down. Because it's now 155, we'll see how it feels. But obviously, I haven't done it for like, I don't think I've done it this whole year, to be honest. Maybe like once or twice this year. Now we're actually focused on it, so we're going to try and get back into focusing on it a bit more. We're going to try and do a little bit more in this program. We're going to do more 2 heavy bilateral days. Normally I'd only do 1 and do a single leg day, but we're going to try and really push our strength in this program now for the next 4 or 5 weeks. We're going to try and really get nice and heavy on the weights and try and get nice, stronger. Because normally when you do 2 bilateral lifts a week, like especially if you're going heavy on both, ends up kind of, normally sometimes you usually get a little bit of back pain. So we're going to see how that works and see if I actually do get sore or if I can manage it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So happy to be back focused on trap bar, but we'll see how we get on with this. So 3 reps, should be easy. Well, not easy, but it should be fine. We'll see. Comfortable enough. The last rep was quite difficult, but it's not too bad. I know a lot of people like to use belts when they're going heavy, but it's never something I've ever done. Maybe one day I'll try it because I think it does help with, strengthen. It doesn't strengthen the core, but it helps the core be a bit stronger with the belt, and maybe it compresses you a bit more, so maybe it's good, but we'll see. For now, we're not going to try it. I'm going to do one more set and then move on. Okay, we're going to our single leg RDLs now. Trap bar wasn't too bad. I mean, considering it's my first time doing it in almost a year, to be honest. It feels, to get 155, it's not a lot, but it feels good to get back into it. Back wasn't sore, so that felt fine. Obviously, the last set, I was kind of bouncing it off the floor just to get a little bit more momentum into the exercises, which maybe a little bit cheating, but just want to get them in. It feels good, so we're happy to get back into that. We're ready to do some single leg RDLs now. Just working up to about, this is only 70 kilo. Just want to get a nice stretch in the hamstrings, get a little bit of eccentric hamstring work. Just going to do 6 sets, just going to do 2 sets, 6 reps for 2 sets. Get way bigger DOMs when I do this ones compared to the double leg RDLs. I'm not really sure why, but I don't know if it's because I'm getting more deep into the stretch, if I'm getting more, just because obviously it's focusing on one leg and it's quite heavy weight. I'm not really sure, but I feel my hamstrings a lot more when I do the single leg ones compared to double leg ones. Not gonna lie, I love the double leg ones too, but sometimes when you've done like a heavy lift, like a trap bar deadlift, very compressive, I don't want to do another heavy like RDL lifts because they're both kind of hinges, so I don't want to do like 2 heavy hinge lifts in one session. So that's why I like to do like single leg one with the RDL. I'm still getting a good hamstring stretch, still getting good hamstring strength, but I'm not, it's not too compressive on my low back or my overall body. That's why I like the single leg kind of variation exercises. We're only going to do one more set, then we're going to do some lateral squats, and that's going to be us for the day. We always end up aiming for like an hour max in the gym, but we always end up doing more. Not really sure why. It takes a little bit of time in between my exercises, and I kind of rest along. So, but it is what it is. It's okay. So we're going to do one more set, and then onto Zercher reverse lunges, lateral squats. Zercher lateral squats. Just not going too heavy with these. Just want to get a nice, good stretch into the hips and the groins. I'll get a little bit of strength work. The reason I like the Zercher version is because obviously if you're holding like a dumbbell or kettlebell, you can't really get too heavy. Not that I'm looking to get super heavy, but you can get better. I actually prefer holding the weight like this anyway, compared to holding like a dumbbell or a kettlebell. Just trying to get nice and low. Hip mobility is something I really lack in, so getting into these, that's why I love this exercise, because you get a little bit of strength and mobility at the same time. Okay, that is us for the day. Thank you for watching again. It was a nice, good session. A lot of plyos, the jumps are really good. Seated jumps, really enjoyed doing them. Didn't get as high as I wanted, but felt quite explosive, felt good. It was good getting back in the trap bar. As I said, we're going to be doing two bilateral heavy lower body strength days a week now, trying to really improve that strength. So hopefully by the end of this 4 or 5 weeks, my trap bar strength will be way up. That's the aim anyway. And back squats. So also good RDLs, and really enjoyed this exercise. But yes, thanks for watching. And if you've got any questions, put them in the comment section, and I'll see you next time.